Northern white rhinoceros. So it's Saturday night, you go to a bar to meet a girl, hang out, and then obviously get laid. But in the bar, all you can see are guys in their 30s trying their best not to look desperate. There's not even one girl. This is every guy's worst nightmare. Well, it's the other way around for the northern white rhinoceros. So the pickle is that there are only 2 rhinos left of this species, and well, both of them are female. This is the multiverse of infertility right here. These rhinoceros are currently vacationing in the Czech Republic. They're about 12 to 13 feet and weigh a whopping 3,500 pounds. But in the dating scene, things are a little dry, empty, and hopeless for them. And once these 2 rhinos die, there's no way we can bring this species back to life because we haven't mastered time travel yet. Now, scientists think that they can do something about it, so they're trying everything from surrogacy to IVF. But with no male rhinos left, the biggest challenge is finding viable sperm. It's like trying to find if Ross and Rachel from Friends were on a break or not. Hunting has been the leading cause of their population decline. As a result, we're left with the last 2 rhinoceros in an eternal state of horniness. Sumatran orangutan. There's an animal that's the closest to you in DNA, and it's not your sibling. Imagine coming back from a day full of jumping from tree to tree, and then having to climb all the way up just to get to your nest, and you still end up getting killed. Well, that's the Sumatran orangutan's life for you. To be safe from predators, they build a new nest every night, but that's not working out well for them because they've gone from a species of millions to just 14,000 left in the wild. Their population is decreasing drastically, and all fingers point to hunters. Hunters are the Thanos of the animal world because they've killed over half of the Sumatran orangutans. But those that are still alive have very small legs and huge muscular arms because they mostly use them instead of legs for climbing. They have an oval face with a very orange body, and because of this, hunters can see them from miles away. Let's say you're a hunter, you'd have to wait for days until you finally hit the jackpot and spot a Sumatran orangutan family. And once you spot it, you basically have to kill the parents so they don't put up much of a fight. And while their baby orangutan is still crying, you take it and sell it as an exotic pet to some trophy wife who has too much time on her hands. The orangutans that are left in the forest are quite literally running out of time because of habitat loss and the building of malls. So if you see an orangutan in your parking lot, go away. He's just there to reclaim his land, and you're the colonizer. Amur leopard. Imagine yourself in an interview. You're answering all the questions, ticking all the boxes, and just when you think you got it, someone tells you that you're too pretty for the job. Amur leopard probably feels the same, just 100 times worse. This leopard is native to Russia and China, but it's not taking any population lessons from them because there are only 100 Amur leopards left in the wild. It's about 7.5 meters long with dense fur and very large rose-like patterns all over its body. The Amur leopard is 54 inches in length, and other leopard females are basically drooling over Amur because apparently size does matter for them. And their biggest problem is that Amur leopards basically are the Kardashians of the animal world, so everyone wants their hand-me-downs, or in this case, their luxurious fur. Now, it's really hard for this animal to survive because the hunters are out to get them and turn their magnificent coat into a wall hanging of some rich billionaire. Hunting them is illegal, but adrenaline junkies still do it because one coat could get them thousands of dollars. But finally, they're getting their goof on and getting laid because of the breeding programs. Authorities have built enclosures to make sure the leopard is breeding safely and not being hunted. Vaquita. You're fishing in a pond with your buddies going through a midlife crisis when suddenly your net starts rustling. It's the sweet sound of success that's already watering your mouth, but you don't realize that the fish you just caught is one of the 10 vaquitas believed to be alive today. Vaquitas are marine mammals that are extremely endangered, a lot like scientists in the 1600s. Vaquitas love to hang out in the California waters, and that's where the trouble comes. Everyone in Cali wants to get rich, and vaquita is their golden ticket to Vegas. Vaquitas have a really strong body, and as expected, they put up a lot of fights, but hunters end up catching them because they're small and have no beak to attack them. Because of the black patch around their eyes, they can be identified from miles away, so their chances at survival are slim to none. Vaquita is also used in all sorts of medicines, and at this point, it's fair to feel a little icky, but hold it right there. The hunters aren't the only reason this fish is extinct, because vaquita isn't as innocent as it might seem to you. First of all, they can't keep it in their pants. They're practically getting laid with their cousins, sisters, and anyone they could find. Pretty much what people were doing in the medieval ages when new diseases were popping up on a daily basis. This inbreeding has caused genetic problems, and vaquitas are getting a lot of new diseases now. And when these diseases go untreated, they die, and we don't have to tell you why that's bad. This is a warning to stop eyeing your cousin at a family reunion. While vaquita isn't doing itself any favors, the government has actually banned the use and possession of vaquita gill nets. Kakapo. You go out with your friends, and when the waiter asks for your order, you just freeze. Your throat starts closing up, and you keep repeating the order in your mind, but never really say it. If that sounded familiar, then you're the long-lost sibling of the kakapo, because when a hunter approaches them, they also freeze to death. It's a small bird of only 25 inches, and is colored green and brown. Not the colors of beauty, we must say. They can live for about 100 years and are still endangered. Only 247 are alive, making them an extremely endangered species. Once again, we're blaming cats. Cats aren't just making humans crazy, they're also proving to be kakapo killers, so we better watch out. And let's be real, if you get a grilled chicken with a side of mashed potatoes on your plate, you're definitely eating it. Similarly, when the cats approach our friend kakapo, it freezes. Like, it literally stops moving. So if your mind shuts down while talking to the girls, just know there's a bird that won't talk or move even if it could save its life. Javan rhino. For once, you can find Wi-Fi in the middle of the desert and even tacos in hell, but you can't find Javan rhinos in Asia anymore. These majestic Javan rhinos once roamed across Southeast Asia, but they're so rare now that you have a better chance of going viral on IG than spotting them in the wild. The Javan rhino is famous for its dusky gray color and horn as big as 10 inches. Its skin has very loose folds, which makes it chunky. They're also pretty obsessive because they only hang out with their partners. Also, they can live 30 to 45 years, but that's where the problem starts. Only 67 of these rhinos are alive today, and this drastic decrease is a result of excessive hunting. Apparently, some people still believe that Javan rhino's horn will make you a hero in bed, so the black market uses the horns to make all sorts of sex medicines, and the worst thing about it all is that they don't even work. But all is not lost because authorities in Indonesia have built a sanctuary where a lot of these rhinos are taking refuge. They're also designing scientific programs to make sure they don't go extinct and keep reproducing. So let's just hope their comeback is better than Justin Bieber, because if not, then the diverse forests of Africa are doomed. Philippine eagle. Picture this, you're hiking through the magnificent forests of the Philippines with a camera in one hand and binoculars in the other, and suddenly you see a bird as big as a traffic cone. But before you get lost in the fantasy, just know that the chances of this happening are really thin. Philippine eagle sightings are extremely rare, but it's one of the most majestic birds with a height of about 3 feet and 14 pounds in weight. They have white and brown fur all over their body with a razor-sharp beak, and when they look at you, it feels like they're staring right into your soul. But it's easier to find your soulmate than finding this eagle because only 400 of these are left in the wild. The leading reason behind their population decline is deforestation, and people also go to the forest just to kill this beautiful bird for a temporary ego boost. The only solution to this problem is getting them laid until they puke at the sight of the opposite gender. It's because the Philippine eagle lives with one partner their entire lives, and it reduces their chances of having dozens of offspring. So these eagles are basically dying for the love of their lives, and you're being ghosted. What a waste. To save them from completely going extinct, there's also an anti-hunting program that is saving the last Philippine eagles. But for us, the game changer is putting 2 eagles in one enclosure and setting the mood so they can hook up and produce babies. Humans should do the same, then at least we'll not die unsatisfied because even eagles are getting some action. Forest elephant. Forest elephants are not pooping enough. This might sound ridiculous to you, but it's actually a legit reason why zoologists are concerned. Let's say you're a doctor and the only way you can count the number of forest elephants is by how much they've pooped all over the rainforest. Yeah, you might have to finger count each piece of dung, but at the end you realize there's not enough poop. That's exactly what the zoologists are wondering and believe that the forest elephant's population is going down like crazy. These massive elephants weigh as much as 6 6,000 to 12,000 pounds and have a very sweet tooth. Forest elephants are also fond of fruits and help with vegetation by walking from place to place, with seeds being stuck on their feet. There are around 150,000 forest elephants left in the world, but the number was as high as 26 million in the 1800s. Someone told these elephants about birth control because this population decline is insane. Jokes aside, the real reason their population has suffered is that they're being hunted for their tusks. Hunters sell these tusks in the black market, and ivory jewelry is made from them. Authorities are building sanctuaries to conserve these elephants, but another threat is looming. Lately, forest elephants are being hunted so people can make soup out of their reproductive organs. Apparently, consuming these can turn you into an insatiable horse in bed, but newsflash, it's all BS, and you shouldn't be so gullible. Sayola. Picture this. You're wandering through the forests of Vietnam and spot a majestic lake with crystal clear water. As you go down to drink the water, an animal bumps you with its horn and leaves a mark on your behind. That's all you'll be able to see of this animal because they're extremely camera shy and have hardly been spotted a couple times in the forest. Meet Sayola, an Asian unicorn that always looks constipated and annoyed, but in all fairness, it hasn't gotten laid in years and humans are out to get him, so the anger is justified. Sayola has really long and sharp horns with white spots on its face. It looks like a hybrid of a deer and a goat. Sayola is also very paranoid because even one rustle in the forest or one movement and they start running like it's a marathon. Despite all this hide and seek, Sayola is still endangered and less than 750 have managed to survive. The leading cause of their death is hunters who sell them in the international market for their straight and pointy horns. They're rare, so their meat can go as high as thousands of dollars. Even if it tastes like farts, the rich are eating it. But to save Sayola, the authorities are now removing traps from the forest and ensuring that Sayolas can mate in peace.